how to navigate the 5D path in the 3D world. 5D is our spirit. 5D is our energy. 5D is that essence inside of you. How do you navigate that spirit, this spiritual path in a 3D world? Because, my friends, that is your destiny. That is why we're here. That is your destiny. Let me share with you a model which we call the conscious and never-ending evolution model. Now, it's based on the work of Dr. Claire Graves. This is important because I want you to become aware of where you are with your thinking and, more importantly, your consciousness and your energy and vibration. And then we're going to have a look at, well, what is that we need to do to actually evolve us as human beings? And I say, how do we then share that with other people? Will that be advantageous to you? Just put in the chat, that's what you want to learn. That's what you want to be exposed to. That's what you want to be able to maybe experience, maybe have a look at it from a different perspective. I'm sure a lot of this stuff that I'm going to share with you, a lot of you have actually heard it or learned it before. Let me share it with you from a different perspective. Because for me, this is a constant and never-ending evolution model. So Dr. Claire Graves, he put together a model called spiral dynamics. And this is really an evolution of us as a human being from a moment that we're born, how we evolve as we go through our life, evolve our thinking, what becomes important to us, and how we make decisions in our life. Really, your life right now is a reflection on the decisions that you make. All right? A better quality decision, you're going to have a better quality of life. Where do your decisions come from? Your decisions come from what you hold inside in your mind, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind. We'll talk about that. So quickly I want to share this. This is the never-ending evolution model. You know, these are values level thinking, and we move up values level 2, family first, values level 3, the boss, the rebel. You know, most people are stuck in this energy here, which is victim mentality. Like they feel they can't break through because they're stuck looking after their family, or they're stuck in their family ways. Like, I can't do that because I'm going to be excommunicated, or I'm going to be disowned from my family. Just put in the chat whether you agree with this or not, right? So there's a journey that we go through. And at a certain time in our life, we want to break free. We become the rebel. We run away from home, or we're the toddler, the terrible twosome. You know, it's like, well, I want my way. I want to do it my way. But, you know, you're not young. You're still young enough, or still young to be able to look after yourself. And so it's not until you get to a teenager and think, well, to hell with this, I'm going to do it my way. And you leave home. So this boss, the person with that energy, right, the rebel, is the one who says, I'm going to do it my way. To hell with the rules. I'm going to create my own rules. This is the gang leader. This is a person who says, you know what, I'm number one. And in business, well, it's interesting because these are the people that market themselves as, you know, they're number one. They annihilate the competition. There's no one better than them, right? And if you attempt to actually move into their field, into their industry, they'll just attempt to actually just, you know, diminish you or rubbish you. Well, we're in this together, guys. You know, there's not enough of us out there doing the work that we do to actually make a difference to humanity out there. We should be supportive, in my opinion. We should be supportive of each other. We should embrace each other. We should actually work together to raise this consciousness. And you get to a point where, you know what? Well, you realize that you got to follow the rules or toe the lines. This is the rule. Most of the population is here in the blue. All right? Education, science, the religion is actually values level 4. To the point that you're sick and tired, and you break out and you want to become an entrepreneur, a change maker, disruptor. This is really the level of your first growth, of you really expressing your magic. And then once you do the work, once you've done the abundance, understand that money is just energy, it's a reflection of what you put out, and you take care of that, then you move up into the humanitarian, the metaphysician. Now, there's a deeper understanding in this learning here, but best way to explain this, guys, up here is where we want to become a modern day healer, an integrated self, an authentic self. Best way to explain it is this way. How do you view life? Because a person says life is happening to me, they're stuck here in values level 2. They're pointing the finger. Because if you can't do stuff because stuff's happening to you, you're saying life's happening to me. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of Tony Robbins fanatics out there. I'm one of them. And we all use Tony's words, or life's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Now, we get that. That's the start. How can we evolve that even more? And how do you get to for me? What happens before that? Is that connection to the spiral dynamics you taught? And yeah, it's absolutely. And this is you're going to see this evolution. So life is happening to me. And you get to a point, so stuff that, to hell with it. I'm going to live life on my terms. How many people say, I'm going to live life on my terms? Coaches out there, live life on your terms. You know what life on your terms is? Life is happening by me. Your values level 3 energy, which means you still haven't healed. You still haven't healed the trauma or the hurt that's happened here in order for you to evolve, have a higher level thinking. Right. You think your values level 5, that you're actually out there as a disruptor, but you're actually a 5 and 3, they're connected. You're actually a 3 at your heart because you haven't dealt with that stuff that's happened to you. But then Tony Robbins says, you know what, life's not happening to me, it's happening for me. Well, I get that, for me, but for me means something's happening outside of you for you. I agree life's happening for you, but why is it happening for you? Let's evolve that even more, right? Because this is a journey that we're on. But when people say life's happening for me, guess what? They just go with the flow. Now, I get what the flow is. I put this other post on the other day, like, when people say they go with the flow, what do they really mean? You know what's interesting? Here's a thought. Jellyfish, they go with the flow. They just go with the tide. Now, that might be great, floating and going with the tide, but guess what happens? Sometimes, like a jellyfish, if you just go with the flow, you'll end up beached, deserted, somewhere that you didn't want to be, because you didn't build a neurology to deal with swimming up the current, to do what other people aren't doing. Now, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I mean, good or bad, how does that exist? That's an illusionary dichotomy when we say good or bad. Why don't you have good and gooder? People say, share with me whatever you want, big or small. Well, that's again illusionary. Big or even bigger. It's just the way you look at things, right? So life's happening for you. You know why? Because at this level, you start taking responsibility, you realize life is happening because of me. So where is your thinking? Are you saying, I can't do this because it's happening to me? Or I'm going to do it my way, my terms? Or are you just going with the flow, right? Or are you taking responsibility and being at cause and saying, hey, for things to change, I must change? Now, there's healing that needs to take place as you go through this, guys. Because ultimately, I think once you realize, you start taking responsibility for your life and you evolve your thinking and you connect to the essence inside, you realize that life is happening through you. The life force is passing through you. And ultimately, when you evolve to a modern day healer, you realize that life is happening as me. So the journey, I suppose when I look back at stuff that's happened to me in the past, how many times was I stuck here? That's happening to me because that I can't do that. And I said, to hell with that, I'm going to do it my way. And then I just went with the flow. Accepted it. Great. That's going to help me to actually start taking responsibility. And I start taking responsibility, but it's quite yang, right? Quite yang in its approach. I need to start nurturing, connect to the heart. Understand that life is an energy, it's a flow, it's a life that flows through me. Actually, whatever's happening outside of me is me. And that's the ultimate perception, is projection. Life is happening as you. And what I realized, guys, I'm going to share this with you, is that I'm going to introduce a quick model, and we'll talk more about this over the next 3 or 4 days, is the journey. We said you need to embrace the journey. You know what journey you need to embrace? You need to embrace the journey of dissension. And what I mean by journey of dissension, just let me know you're still with me, guys. All right, just put in the chat. Tell me about the journey of dissension. So to explain the journey of dissension, let me go to my flip chart. I've gone to my flip chart here now. All right. And so we all agree, okay, that up here we're energetic beings, or we're a spirit, and we've chosen to have a physical experience. We're having this physical experience in our physical body. So there's our physical body, right? So we chose on one level to descend. Our frequency decided to slow down to create the illusion of substance, to decide to come onto this planet to have an experience. Would you agree with that, guys? Great. So in order for us to ascend, we actually have to go through there's 4 bodies, there's levels that we need to go through in order for us to manifest physically. So we have our spiritual self, we have our mental self, we have our emotional self, and we have our physical self. So that's spiritual, mental, emotional, and that's physical. So when I talk about the journey of the ascension, you're an energy, you're a frequency. You chose to have a 3D experience. This is the 3D world. Do you understand? This is you being in your physical body. What is happening in your physical body is 3D. When you're setting goals and outcomes and you're focusing on results and focusing on things outside of you, it's a 3D world. Up here, you're an energy and spirit. What's that? That's 5D. Okay, let's make that 5D. So, why did we choose to come here? Let me just get this happening. Why do we choose to come here? Well, what's the secret or what's the lesson? How do you live a 5D life in the 3D world? How do you navigate the 5D path in the 3D world? This is what conscious leadership and conscious evolution is. Because I tell you what, if you want to ascend again, the ascension won't take place unless the descension is mastered. This is the lesson of descension, my friends. This is the lesson of descension. And we need to understand that before we ascend again. This is ascension. And the lesson of descension is a lesson of self-mastery. This is self-mastery. Mastering the inner world, the esoteric studies. This is life mastery. So many people attempt to master life, attempt to actually have all these things outside of them. And they put their life, mastering life, at the forefront of themselves. Your personal evolution is always at the forefront of your business evolution, your relationship evolution, or any evolution of yourself. Would you agree, guys? Your self-evolution is at the forefront. So I want to explain with you, when we're talking about mindset coaching, we're here at the mental level, right? This is quite yang in its approach. The physical is quite yang in its approach. So that makes sense. If you want to get a specific result in your physical body, go to a personal trainer, right? Yang coaching, right? You want to get results in your business, you want to increase the bottom line, you get better results, yang coaching, a business coach, right? And why does mindset coaching link into a lot of, perfectly into that work? Because helping you change your thoughts and your limiting beliefs actually help you change the results. But sometimes at the expense of the emotions. Say, yeah, we'll do some emotional work. We'll clear that emotion. Just change your thought. Don't worry about that. Change your thought. Let go of the fear. But did you feel the fear? Change your thought. Let go of the grief. Deal with it. Things happen for a reason. I get that. But did you feel it? Because this is yin coaching, right? This is the yang and yin, the balance. So you can have a physical coach. You can have an emotional coach. Physical fitness, emotional fitness, mental fitness, and spiritual fitness. This is yin coaching as well too. And you know what this spiritual fitness is? Is understanding that you're a 5D being having a 3D experience. It's learning to master, learning the lessons of the spirit, learning the lessons of the mental body, learning the lessons of the emotional body in order for you to master your life here. Now people say, I've learnt that, I've got that. And yet they still have ailments in the physical body. You know what? If you don't pay attention to your spirit says, hey, you're not paying attention. I'm going to give you something in your physical body to pay attention. You know, so many mindset coaches, and we do too, right? We teach NLP, neuro-linguistic program. What do we learn in NLP? In NLP, we learn how to use our language. More importantly, the words, understand to master the use of our words and master how we use our words. So we learn about language and how we use our language. And in terms of communication, we learn language, and the way we use our language is 45% of communication. What about the other 55%? The other 55% is physiology. It's your body. Now, we learn how to use our body to build rapport, but we don't learn how to communicate with our body. So when we learn NLP, if you're a mindset coach who's done NLP, guess what? You've missed 55% of the communication. You're a coach that doesn't have all the information. You think you have all the information. It's quite yang. And so if you think you have all the information, you don't need to learn anymore, then you're at values level 3, right? You think that I'm living life on my terms. And I know that because I've been there. I took that route with my business and, well, the results were reflective of my thinking at that time. And that was part of the journey for me to get to where I am right now in order to be able to make a different difference now, which is all the difference. What I need to experience is all the difference. I need experience in order to make the difference now. So this is your yin coaching, yang coaching. And I suppose when you think about that, I want to quickly share with you as well too. We have our 3 selves, right? And this is important. This comes from Hawaiian Huna, in my understanding. So we know this is our higher self, this is our conscious self, And this is our unconscious self, our unconscious mind, right? And I want you to understand that there is a direct connection between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. But the conscious mind has no connection to the unicorn above your head, your higher self. The only connection to your higher self is your unconscious mind, right? These aren't arrows, they're just archive cords. There's a connection. So here's the thing, when you consciously make a decision that you want to be a better person, let's just say that is your better self. I want something better for myself. I need to do better in the way I live my life. I want to be able to express my spirit, or I want to be able to become successful. I want to have a wonderful relationship. I want to be healthy. Whatever you want to express, whatever goal you set here in the conscious mind, guess what happens? You know, is that speaking through your higher self? No. Your higher self says, well, I hear you, right? But I hear you through the unconscious mind. In order for you to actually live a better self, to connect to your higher self, you need to go through your wounded self to connect to your mission self. Better self, wounded self, mission self. See what happens when you think of what it is that you want, like you said, a goal or outcome, up come the resistances, right? The Hawaiians call it, these are all the black bags in your unconscious mind. This is all the trapped energy, all the, the lessons, the karmic imprints, whatever the case is, all the black bags that you haven't processed yet, that you need to process to be able to acquire the lessons in order for you to evolve your thinking. See, you cannot experience a higher self, you can't experience yourself for who you really are, because you experience yourself through your wounded self. You can't experience your partner for who you are, because you experience it through your wounded self. You can't experience your business for what it is, because you experience it through your wounded self. The reason why entrepreneurs and businesses aren't getting the results that they want is because, as an entrepreneur, you're making decisions from the injured or the wounded entrepreneur, the wounded parent, the wounded coach, the wounded healer, the wounded therapist, the wounded male, the wounded female. And we make decisions to think it's for our better self, but for our better self, it's you. Values level 3. It's done our way, right? Live life on our terms. We need to heal this, guys. This is what needs to happen over here. We need to do some healing. The healing takes place here. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you over the next 5 days, models to be able to heal. Models to be able to let go of these black bags. And that's the beautiful thing that we've been able to learn over the last 28 years, combining the tools of NLP, of hypnosis, of kinesiology, of energy work, quantum physics, quantum energetics, working with the pendulum, spiritual stuff, understanding tarot, understanding astrology, understanding numbers, understanding the piece of the puzzle that we hold that creates the image of the universe for us, because we are a hologram of the universe. When you can understand that, then you can really have a direct path to your higher self, direct connection, understand that this is your calling. And this is what you're destined to do. When you connect to that, things become magical.